Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope you all are doing fantastic. And I've got a bunch of stuff here that's come in and I've bought in store last couple days, just kind of accumulated. So I figured why not do a video just kind of chatting about everything and my plans. And then I'll eventually get on to the unboxings for some of these. I've got a bunch of stuff here, so let's actually start with the unbox figures, as you can see. So, fellow collector on Instagram, I believe it was Rafnav. I'll leave a link to his Instagram down in the description. He posted up some figures he was trying to sell. I shot him a message and said, "Hey, how much for these three?" He said 30 shipped. I sent him 30, and here they are. And he even included this little Mickey Mouse backpack, which is fun. I'll have to find somebody to put that on. So we'll set that off to the side. But yeah, so why these three? These three figures that, if you pay attention to my collection videos, I already have. Well, I have plans for each of them. First up, we've got Namor. Namor is shockingly one of those characters I don't really gravitate towards, but he's on a lot of teams. So what I've kind of decided is that this Savage Namor that I have, I think I'm actually going to keep him. He will go on my Fantastic Four shelf to kind of flirt with Sue. And then I'll have this or my other Namor be with my Invaders, and then the other one will go for a Defenders team. So that's the plan with him. This Black Widow, I already have, but because the base body had to come from an Infinity War Black Widow, and this head was from the Quantum suits, what I've decided is I want to have all the costumes still lined up, so I wanted to get a spare of this body so that I can put the Infinity War stuff back on her and have the Infinity War costume in the collection as well. So that's the main thing there, is just to have the other costume. And then this Thor, it's a really brief moment in Thor Love and Thunder, but there is a time where he has this costume minus the chainmail arms and long hair. And I really, really like that look for Thor. So what I've decided is I wanted to make it, so I had to get a spare of this, and I just need to now get a spare of Ravager Thor so I can do some arm swapping and head swapping, and then I can make that look fully. And I'll try to put up a picture right now, because I have some screenshots of that moment, so you can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, that is what this Thor is going to be used for. So we'll set these guys off to the side now. Now, something that doesn't really require a lot of explaining, we of course have the Psylocke and Thanos 2-pack from Marvel Legends. A lot of people are getting this in hand. I, of course, got my pre-order in. This shipped, no problem. I did actually go to a Target the day that this was supposed to be, releasing for store, or the street date, I should say, and didn't see one, but I still had this on the way, so I wasn't worried about it. I'm going to do an unboxing of this 2-pack and eventually a review, so just stay tuned on the channel for all of that. So now we're getting into some of the other stuff, some of the more random stuff. Now this will come into play later, the fact that we went to a comic shop, but we went there and did some shopping, and I decided to pick this figure up. And of course, this is the last figure I need for the Nemesis Build-A-Figure wave. So as you can see, I've got all of them right there. Yeah, very excited to finally have Husk, and I paid the normal retail, it was $24.99, but I'm okay with that because I like supporting that comic shop, and the fact that this finishes off the wave, and I got to buy something in person. I don't see much of this wave in person, so it was just a fun way to support a store that I really like and get a cool figure that I need to finish a wave. So I got her. Expect an unboxing video of her where I will also build Nemesis, and then in a later video I will review the two of them together. So expect that on the channel. And then I mentioned that we went to a Target. Well, I decided to look on the Target app before we left and saw that Perceptor was in stock, and he was available at the Target we were going to. So I, just to secure him for pickup, I made a pickup order. So I got him, and this is the Perceptor that has Ratbat and Ramhorn. So those are 2 more cassette bots to go into the collection. So I'm not super excited for Perceptor on his own. I think he's a cool bot. He's just never been one of my must-haves, but to pack him with these 2 cassette bots, it was, yeah, I need him now. So very excited to have this 3-pack, I suppose. And I don't know if I'm going to do an unboxing of this. I'll hold on to it, kind of keep it, wrapped up for a few days, see how I feel, and then go on from there. And then we have these 2 YOLO Park Transformers, the AMK Mini series. They're 12 centimeters, 11 centimeters tall. I don't know what that equates to in inches, but we were at a mall and a Hot Topic had these, and I was like, whoa, I haven't seen these in person. I was asking what the price was, and they had it at, what was it, $14, but they had a deal going on of buy one, get one 30% off everything in the store, and these counted towards that. So it was like, well, I've never seen these before. That'll bring it down to, $11-12. Yeah, screw it. So I got these 2, and the only other one that they had there was Starscream. If they had Optimus and Bumblebee or Grimlock, I maybe would have gotten one of those instead. But yeah, and I got to looking. It wasn't like a big deal that I actually got. These retail for about $10, $10 or $11, outside of, or like on websites that I was looking at. So I basically paid the shipping and taxes by getting them in hand, but it's not a big deal. I just want to try these out, see if I like them. I don't really have a need for them, just because there's, I have so many of these characters already, but I'll find a use. I'll find a reason to keep them in the collection, or just have fun with them. So I will most likely do a video of these guys where I unbox and build them and just kind of get an idea of how I'm feeling with them. So expect that on the channel very, very soon. And that is it for the action figure side of this video. I'm going to talk about comics now. I know a lot of people probably don't want to hear about the comics that I got, but I'm going to probably alternate all the videos for the action figure stuff with reviews. I'm trying to get through reviews. I'm trying to make sure I'm still editing and getting through all that stuff. I want to start getting ahead and posting videos ahead, or not posting, but at least getting them uploaded and scheduled for days, so that I'm not like panicking when I run out of videos. So hopefully I'll be getting these done, and then I'll have like a backlog, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But okay, now let's talk about the comics I've gotten. So there's a few places that I've actually gotten comics from. First up, that comic shop that I mentioned where I got Husk. I decided to get the trade of Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. I've heard, the kind of premise of this book. I thought it sounded so interesting. I told my girlfriend about it, and she goes, ooh, that sounds really cool. So we got it, and we're going to both read it. So it'll be an interesting one to check out. But yeah, I'm excited to check it out. I don't really go into indies all that often. I usually try to stick with Marvel and DC, but when an indie does catch my eye, I do like to get it. So there's that one. And then, let's see, it was Deadpool versus Old Man Logan and Immortal Hulk Volume 3 that I got from my local comic shop. It was a slow week in terms of my my weekly comic pickups, the actual brand new releases. So I decided to get some trades to still support the store. I like to do that. These were on the cheaper side, and the store already does a 20% off deal for trades. And I knew I would have more Immortal Hulk, so I got the Volume 3. And yeah, I just got them because, it was a slow week, and I was needing them. So, got those. And now you got these. So, Target recently, around the same time that Amazon was doing their Prime Days and Target was doing some sales, Target was doing the Circle Week. And one deal that they like to do during Circle Week is buy two, get one free on books and movies. That includes comic books. And what's great about Target is a lot of their trades go on sale after they've released. So a lot of these were already discounted, and then you do the buy two, get one free. So the X-Men, the Miles Morales, and I believe the volume of Spider-Man that's Venom were all a little over $30. And they got paired in the... I did this all in one order, but the way that I placed them in the cart, it arranged them in a certain order so that I could get the maximum savings. So those three were a little over 30, and it brought them down to like high $20 range. Then the Clone Saga, Maximum Carnage, and Kraven's Last Hunt were in the high 20s. That brought high to mid 20s, and so that brought them down to either the very low 20s or even in like the teens, the very high teens. And then I got these three, which were all in the mid-teens, and that brought them down to like 10, like 9, 10, or 11. I can't remember exactly. But so I did the math, and even if these, these were already discounted, all of them, they were not the original retail price. But if you take the original retail price into consideration, I paid about half in total of what I would have. So I think this was around $300 and some odd in original retail. But I paid maybe $160, I think. And thanks to Target, they take PayPal credits. So I was able to get all of these, and I can just pay it off over time. So yeah, I got Immortal Hulk. I've heard nothing but good things about the series. So next year, I think I want to try it out. So I'm just going to start gathering the trades of it slowly. So I've already got 3 of them. And then Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. I've read this many, many times thanks to my local library. They've had this volume there, but I have not owned it on my own. And I already have Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again in the collection, so I want this to pair with it. And eventually I'll have Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe one last time once it releases in trade. So, got that. Got X-Men Mutant Genesis. This is volume 19, and the 9th epic collection that I have from the X-Men series. I am planning to read through X-Men all the way from Giant Size to hopefully New X-Men. New X-Men's where I'm going to stop. In just a couple months, I'm planning to do that. This is my first time ever reading all this, and I always prefer to read physical. So I've been slowly getting a lot of these epic collections, which, yeah, I'm very excited to check that out. So there's that. Then we got Miles Morales. I've seen that they've been collecting all his stuff, and I do like Miles. I've had the first volume of this, I think, since he debuted. So this will actually replace that, but then I'll continue to get more of these trades because I think there's another volume or 2 already out, or one's coming out and one's already out. So it's one series I'm just going to try and keep up with. And then we get to the Spider-Man. So I was kind of thinking to myself, okay, if X-Men is going to be the main series that I read this year, what is going to be the main throwback series that I'm going to get to next year? And I was like, well, okay, it has to either be Avengers or Spider-Man. Those are the 2 that I would really like to read. It's just a matter, I know a lot of what happens in Avengers. I'm aware of what happens in Spider-Man, a lot of the, Clone Saga. Nobody likes Clone Saga. I actually have read Maximum Carnage. I'm aware of Kraven's Last Hunt. I'm aware of Venom. I just haven't read them all myself. So when I went onto the Target app and started looking through the trades, it was like, man, there's not really many Avengers, and there were so many Spider-Man ones that were on there, and it was like, well, it looks like it's going to be Spider-Man. So we, of course, got the Clone Saga here. That's volume 27. And this actually brings me to 7 epic collections of Amazing Spider-Man. I already have volumes 1, 2, and 5. There's Maximum Carnage. Number 25. And here we have Venom. I really like that art. I know it's not the original, but it still looks pretty sweet, which is volume 18. Love the Superman reference. So there is that. And then, of course, we got Kraven's Last Hunt, right there, which is volume 17. So I got a big gap between 5 and 17, of course, but there's a handful. I want to say there's at least 5 more Epic collections that I saw on Target of Spider-Man that I'll try and track down before I end up deciding to read the series. So yeah, there is all of that. I hope you guys enjoyed me discussing comic books and action figures and the like. Make sure you are subscribed, and if you guys watch all of this, you are awesome. I really appreciate you checking out all the content here, and even appreciate my ramblings about comic books and figures and whatnot. So it means a lot to me. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. So yeah, as I'm putting everything back on the table, I do hope you enjoyed, and just keep an eye out on the channel for all the content that will be coming. All kinds of stuff planned, as you can see, plus just trying to catch up on reviews, taking photos, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm just gonna set that like that, and we will close out the video. So I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.